We're at Lungos Kawayan Point. It was here on February 2nd, 1942 that Granddad, Lolo, Gapito Gayanilo, led machine gun squad in displacing a position where it could deliver effective fire for friendly attack. He destroyed a couple of guns with hand grenades according to this dispatch from Washington, so he earned himself a Silver Star and a Bronze Star.
Bataan is a jutting landmass of jungle-covered mountainous terrain that, along with Corregidor, guards the entrance to Manila Bay. According to War Plan Orange, American forces on Luzon would mass here. Their mission? To hold out long enough for the American Navy to steam across the Pacific with the men, supplies and firepower.
The reality was that there would be no resupply. There would be no reinforcement. And they would have to fight with what they had.
And two regiments, the 45th and 57th, in which American officers commanded highly trained native soldiers, known as the Philippine Scouts.
They were good soldiers. The Scouts were very good soldiers. We're a very good army, the best in the world at the time.
The Scouts were notorious for being outstanding shots. They're very proud of their marksmanship.
On the 11th of January 1942, the marksmanship of the Philippine Scouts was put to the test. For dozens of the charging enemy, Ortolano's muzzle blast would be the last sight they ever saw.
As one group of Japanese soldiers rushed him, the weapon jammed. The Japanese infantry that were charging his position very quickly closed the distance with him.
Ortolano drew his pistol and pulled the trigger.
Killed 5 of the rushing Japanese in that way, but that wasn't all of them. One of them made a thrust at him with a rifle bayonet.
Ortolano grabbed the rifle. After another night assault on the 12th of January, the Japanese gave up trying to breach the lines of the Philippine Scouts.
Hello. It's April 9, 2010, but in April 9, 1942, if you believe it, the Americans surrendered here, and this is Mariveles, and my friend, what's your name, sorry?
Nidio, sir.
Nidio. He's helping me here, and I guess I just wanted to commemorate the guys surrendered. All I can say is, this is the same day when they surrender. It's probably 95 degrees outside, maybe 36 Celsius. I've got Gatorade. Those men did not have water, and it's hot outside. I don't know how they managed to do it. That's all I can say about this place. It's a nice, beautiful place, but I think back in 1942, April 9th is probably a very terrible day. So that's all I can say.
On the 9th of April 1942, the Filipino-American force on Bataan laid down its arms and stumbled out of the jungle. 70,000 men turned themselves over to the Japanese in what was the largest surrender ever by an American army to a foreign power.
Native came back here, and I think what happened was they were supposed to go on barges to go to Corregidor, but they missed the barges. The nurses got on the barges, so the 45th Regiment stayed here, and apparently they started their marching in Mariveles.
But the Japanese were struggling to move the thousands of surrendered Americans and Filipinos to a POW compound at Camp O'Donnel in central Luzon. With insufficient transport, the already starving and sick troops were forced to endure a 60-mile march north through the sweltering jungle.
During this march, the Japanese exacted the American and Filipino survivors to absolute brutality and cruelty, leading ultimately to this march being called the Bataan Death March.
Soldiers too exhausted to keep up were bayoneted or shot. If a man broke ranks for a drink of water, he was instantly executed.
First time I seen a guy beat to death, the guy hit him with a pick handle.
hundreds of Americans and as many as 10,000 Filipinos perished on the long road out of Bataan to the internment camp.
95 degrees to 36 Celsius outside. It is bloody hot. I don't know how those guys did it. It's April 9th, 1942. Damn hot. Released ba the next day?
Nandito na sila sa concentration camp.
Sa Camp O'Donnel?
Na nga nung 9 ng April, sumipot na.
Oo.
March. Mag-declare yung mga sila. Wala silang kain, wala silang inom. Sabi nila mula sa Bataan hanggang sa concentration camp. Tarlac.
Saan?
Once the men reached Camp O'Donnell, the atrocities continued.
And I never saw such a sight in my whole life. They never fed us. We didn't have nothing to eat for about 3 days. I thought, we got to eat, man. I was eating the leaves off of the trees around there.
Between April and June, 1,500 Americans and 20,000 Filipinos died in Camp O'Donnell.
Original station dito o doon? Doon?
Station yan.
Doon?
Oo, dyan
galing sa San Fernando,
Oo,
no?
dyan.
According to the ladies here in Camp Tarlac, this is the original train station where the prisoners were dumped. I guess the railroad station used to run here in the street, but now it's in here where the basketball court is. Okay, we're in Camp O'Donnell. This is an incredible place here. And Lolo is right Gayanilo. Of course they spelled his name wrong, but this place is incredible. It's just a big obelisk and full of names of the people in Camp O'Donnell. Were very near to Camp Tarlac, so the old video that we showed before was they suffered in the night so that their countrymen would wake to the dawn of freedom. Estimated death of the marchers, March 9th to the 15th, 1942. Today is the 15th of April. I started my March 9th. Is 60,600 Filipinos and 9,900 Americans. Estimated defenders who reached Capas, 45,692 plus Filipinos and 9,300 Americans. They killed a lot of people. This is way too much.